So welcome to this live event. I'm glad that you've made it out here. It's really important that you're here because everyone does not know how to use Facebook. There's only about 2% of people that really know how to use Facebook properly, and 98% of the people are out there. The 2% are in here. And so 90% of success is showing up. So I commend you for being here. Taking this first step is really what's going to make the difference. Now, a lot of people are starting to get to know what Facebook is all about. And what's really incredible about Facebook is that you can really leverage your business, leverage your position as whatever position that you are in your career. You can really amp that up by connecting with a lot of people. And so it's really important that you put your mental running shoes on, because I'm going to go through a lot of information today. And if there's something that I haven't covered, we're going to cover it, and if we don't have time, we have a bonus for you that we are throwing in one-on-one coaching. And that's our promise to you, so that we know where you are and where we can build from there. Okay, so that's what we want to promise for you, because we really want to make sure that you know how to use this tool to your full advantage. Facebook is the largest social media out there. Why do I say that? There's all social media platforms, but Facebook is by far the largest. And what's really incredible about Facebook is on a daily basis, they've got about 1.44 billion people on Facebook on a daily basis. And that's only growing. And so I've learned that there are many people going online. The internet is still a baby, and it's growing fast. And it's growing so fast that there is going to be an extra 3 billion people, that's half the planet, that will be on social media and surfing the web in the next 2 years. I learned this from master internet marketer, Brendan Burchard. How would you like to have even 1% of that? That's in the millions of people coming to you for advice on something that you can provide. Either it's a product or a service. You have what people need. And you need to convince yourself of that. Because if you have that confidence and nothing holds you back, you can reach out to people that people need your stuff. Now you're all smart, you all have something to give, and you all have great information. And there's something different about you than anyone else on the planet. And that's what you need to hone in on. These are what you call your talent, your strengths. And with that, you can really outreach everyone out there. Now, if you are not heard, if you're not noticed, nobody's going to know about you. And it's very difficult to be online and have people come to you. So what we're going to be covering in this workshop is how to outreach a massive amount of people. First of all, with Facebook, because it is the largest social media platform out there, when people check out businesses, they go to Facebook first to see, even before your website, 68% of people will actually go to Facebook and see your online presence before they even walk into your store or online store. They want to know that you're known. If you're not on Facebook, it shows that you're not well known. Secondly, you may have a great website, but what's driving that traffic to that website? It's really important that you have an online presence on Facebook first. Then get on to having a website or link to that website as well. So that's what's really important. So this is a bit of an intro that what we'll show you here is how to quickly add 5,000 friends. I've done it in less than 90 days in getting my 5,000 friends, where I started with about 500, just because I love networking. And 500 for an outreach is usually about twice as much as most people. But what's interesting is that if you can expand that reach to 5,000, now you have 5,000 people that notice your posts, notice what you have to say, and notice your information. So, who would like to have 5,000 friends on their Facebook? Yes, absolutely. And it's incredible because it's not just any friends, anybody and everybody. You need to target specific friends. People that are interested in what you have to say. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I've done it in 90 days, and I'm confident with the system that I've built over the last few months that you can do it in quicker time than 90 days. It all depends on how much time you want to spend. And we have specific checklists that you can follow to get those 5,000 friends very quickly. Okay? Next is, I want to show you how you can reach your first 1,000 fans on your Facebook page. This is your professional page, either positionally or something associated to your store or your career. And if you don't have an online presence for your page, we can help you to put your page up so that you can gain those first 1,000. Now, if you already have a page, and let's say you have 1,000, let's say you have 5,000 or even 10,000, we'll show you how to quickly add an extra 1,000 onto that. To have an extra 1,000 people see and be interested in what you have to offer makes a big difference. It usually turns into sales. Okay? So, are you excited about this?
Yes.
Excellent. Would you like to know a little bit of history about how I got to stand in front of you today and why I've mastered this thing called Facebook?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So who am I and what can I do for you? I'm just like you. I'm no different. It's just I have a specific interest in something and I master it. Have you heard of the 80-20 rule, Pareto's Law?
Yep.
Yes.
80-20. So 20% of the things you do account for 80% of your results. But it's the 20% of the best things that you have to do. So out of the 100% that you do, I've condensed everything as far as the best top 20%, and that's what I'm here to teach you. Okay? So it all started with me thinking that I'm invincible, thinking that I'll live forever, and I'm enjoying life. And so I'm a small town boy coming from North Bay. And Phil knows North Bay because he was the person who actually developed the biggest mall in North Bay. It's one of the only malls in North Bay. And so North Bay right now probably has 30 centimeters of snow. It's minus probably 25 right now. It's not a place that I love to live, but it was a great childhood memory for me. It was awesome to live there. I got to play in the snow, got to play in the summer. It was amazing. Lived on the beach. And then I decided, you know what, I really love nutrition. I love the human body. I love fitness. So I specialized in all health. And I really delved down into it. Took every book that I can read about it and really wanted to hone in and understand it. Became a personal trainer. And then shortly afterwards, I thought, North Bay is just too small for me. I need to go out into the big city. The biggest city that I knew is Toronto. So I said, I gotta come out to Toronto. And after thinking about it for quite a while, I got this funny call from a company called True North Nutrition. They said, one of your employees in Toronto is actually looking to join our company. Would you be able to act as a reference? And she put you down as reference. Because at the time I was doing some franchise stores called Great Earth Vitamins. And so I said, wow, True North is hiring? Are you hiring anyone else? They said, yeah, we're actually looking to hire about 12 representatives. I said, I'm in. I'm sending you my resume. Here's what I can do. They said, okay, hold on. That's great and all, but can you act as a reference? So I continued, acted as a reference. She got hired. I got hired at the same time and came into this company that grew so fast that I jumped in, came to Toronto, and it was my ticket to come to the big city. And so I met this girl, this amazing girl. Her name is Jenna. Jenna, I met her, and it was really interesting. The way I met her is that she came from Manitoba, and she said, well, where are you from? And I said, well, you probably never heard of it. It's North Bay. And she went, oh my God. I said, well, oh, is it that bad? She says, no. My dad was born there, my mom was born there, and even though they live up west, my grandmother still lives there, and I spend my summers there. It's so beautiful. And I said, wow, that's so amazing. So I started dating this amazing girl, Jenna, and we just had the best time together. We went hiking all the time. She was a nature bug. We loved hiking. We went out dancing. We just enjoyed life so much. And we lived so many years together. I think it was 9 years where we were living together, enjoying life. And Jen and I, we just had such a great time that I couldn't get enough of this girl because I was just having so much of a great time. She was my soulmate. Until one day she was, about 9 years after being with her and just enjoying life so much, she just said, "Mike, I'm just not feeling well inside." And I said, "Well, what do you mean? What does that mean? You're not feeling well inside?" And she says, "There's just something inside me. It just doesn't feel right." And so I just kind of said, as a positive person, it's just a phase you might be going through. You'll feel better. It's okay. Shortly after, a couple of weeks later, she started getting fevers, like really bad fevers, 104 temperature degree fevers. So brought her to the clinic and saw the doctor. Doctors did a few tests, came back, and they said, "Unfortunately, this does not look good, Jenna. We are going to refer you to an oncologist." And I thought, "An oncologist? What's an oncologist?" Well, shortly after, I found out that an oncologist is a cancer doctor. And so we went and visited this cancer doctor, and he said, "You have all the symptoms of Hodgkin's lymphoma." And I don't know if you've ever had or been touched with someone that has had cancer. When you hear the word cancer, there's some sort of panic that goes through you because it's not well known out there, especially when it's on your doorstep. And so in a panic, the doctor basically says to us that, "Well, we have some treatments, you're going to start chemo, you're going to do this, that, but we need to find out what stage you're at. We need to do quite a few other tests." So for the following few other weeks, we went through bone marrow extracts where they were extracting bone marrow out of Jenna's spine. We went through MRIs, and then she had to get a laparoscopic surgery where they extracted a lymph node. And that was quite tragic for me because when they admitted her to get an operation to get this out, it was only supposed to take half an hour. A laparoscopic surgery, for those of you who don't know, is just little holes that they put inside you. You blow up your stomach and then extract, and then they deflate, and that's it. It's done. Well, they had complications because I was there for 2 hours waiting and not hearing a word from the doctor. And I was panicking. I wanted to know what was going on. I went to the nurses, tried to get some answers, and when doctors are in the operating room, they can't come out. They're in procedure. So I wasn't getting any answers, and then almost 3 hours comes by, and I see the doctor who operated on her is starting to come out and come in and greet me, and I'm just running down the hall towards him, and I'm saying, what's going on? He says, just relax, Mike. We had some complications. It only should have took half an hour, as you know, but we had to open her up because we could not stop the bleeding when we took the lymph node out. So she's in ICU, she's stable right now. She won't recognize you. She's under, and so come back tonight when she's going to wake up. So when I went back that night, Jenna was so weak, she could hardly talk. She was breathing so slow, and I was like, wow, this is crazy, the amount of drugs that they must have put into her. And they said the oncologist was supposed to visit her that night, and then visitations were over, so I had to go home. I was exhausted that day because I was so stressed. But what was crazy is at 5 o'clock in the morning, I wake up to the phone ringing. What? Who's calling me at this time? I run to the phone, pick up, said, Mike, sure, yeah, this is Mike. You better come to the hospital right now. Your spouse is in ICU. It may be the last time you see her, so come down as soon as you can. I put my clothes on just as fast as Superman, and I just jumped into the car and ran into the ICU, saw tubes coming out of Jenna. She wasn't even breathing on her own. I saw bags of blood being dripped into her, and no answers from the doctors because they weren't there, but there were nurses just saying, we're trying to keep her alive. That morning, after staying there for about 3 hours, calling her family to come down, was so stressful. Doctors finally sat me down and said, Mike, prepare for the worst. She, according to ours, said she's not going to pull it through. She's only got about 4% chance to live. And I thought, oh my God, how could this happen? I had my family down, I had friends, I had everyone's support, and within 1 week of Jenna being in a complete coma, non-responsive, we all prayed, and she woke up. She actually woke up. Within the first 24 hours of being in a coma, she had 14 bags of blood replaced into her. For those of you who don't know about how much blood in volume we have about 10 bags of blood inside us. They had to replace more than her whole body's supply. And what happened was, where she had the laparoscopic surgery, it opened up and then she started leaking out, so then all the blood started coming out and she was starting to retain the right type of blood, and she pulled through. But after about a week being in there, she needed about a month to recover from that. And there was a long journey thereafter because she still has the issue of having cancer. Her body was so weak, she lost about 30 pounds. She was just bare bones pretty much after that time because she wasn't eating, she didn't eat at all for a week. We got to see the leading lymphoma specialist in Canada, got the best care as we could, and within about 8 months afterwards, unfortunately, Jenna passed away in my arms. And it was really difficult for me. I didn't know what to do, I was lost. This was in 2010. It happened December 10th, just before Christmas. So I spent my time with family and just rethinking, what am I doing? What's going to happen? What do I do? And then I thought, did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? Like Jenna. Because everyone that Jenna has touched, she's touched their hearts. And so I had a memorial with Jenna, and I told everyone at the memorial that it's been said that you take your closest friends and you take their best qualities and you put that into one person, that's what makes you yourself. Now in Jenna, I've noticed that everyone in that room, and there was well over 300 people, I said there's a piece of Jenna within every one of you. And so I hugged everyone on that night, and we've kept in contact because she's done such an impact. Such an impact that Jenna's dream, she was working at the Markham Museum, she wanted to build a children's garden. And so 2 years later, after a bit of politics and pulling strings and getting the right people in place and getting the city involved as well as the Markham Museum, we built her children's garden. This is the children's garden. You see these little birdhouses? My dad built about a dozen of them. We put them on poles. It's standing today, it's in the middle of the grounds of the Markham Museum, right in the middle of one of those old clocks. And we realized her dream. And the main thing was love first above all else. We engraved this into a stone because that's what Jenna believed in. And that is the lesson that I want you to get today. Put love first above all else. That was one of my biggest lessons, one of the biggest lessons that I want to take, that I always want to take with me, is put love first above all else. Everything else will fall into place if you just put love first. That was my first lesson. My second lesson is that this beautiful angel died at the age of 30. We are not immortal. We do not live forever. Life is short. If you were told by the doctors that you only have 6 months or a year to live, what would you do? What would you do today? What would you do in the next month? If you had only 5 years to live, I think you would think differently. What would you do? So with all that in my mind, in my heart, I went on a different path and I changed my life, because this was a tragedy that happened to me. But everyone has a story. You're no different. You all have your own stories. You all have something significant that's happened in your life. And if it hasn't happened yet, take stories like myself to inspire you so that you too can change your life. So it was time for me to think, what is it that I want to do for my life? And the number one thing, I just came across a book and I saw a quote, and it hit me so hard. It's from Dale Carnegie. He said, "Rich people become millionaires due to investing in real estate." And I thought, that's incredible. And I looked more into it, and it comes out to be 90% of people that are millionaires do so because they've invested in real estate. So if 90% of people became financially free through investing in real estate, why shouldn't I be part of those 90%? So I decided to invest in real estate. And I've invested in myself for investing in real estate by going to seminars just like this, going to educating myself, investing in myself, learning the different ways to leverage real estate so that I can make enough passive income. And in 2.5 years, I've reached financial freedom. And I've done it in such short time because I decided to make a difference, because we don't live forever. 2.5 years later, I'm now teaching people on how to invest in real estate. I helped a friend, Jeff Woods. He couldn't make it today. He was going to make it. He's got some coaching clients because I've helped him start up his business called CarePack. It's Correct Action Real Estate. Correct Action Real Estate is a group where they get together every couple of months and they teach people on how to invest in real estate. I'm one of their guest speakers once in a while because I'm no longer involved 100% in the business. I've decided to follow my own inspiration. Real estate is a great vehicle, and I suggest everyone to get into it. But it's not my 100% passion. It's what's helped me to get to where I am today and why I'm in front of you today. But why am I in front of you today? After hitting financial freedom and quitting my job, just over broke job, I decided to do some soul searching. And so I decided to go on a business retreat where I could rethink and restructure my life for my desire. So my intention was to go on a business retreat, learn specific ways that people live their passion. And so I went on a business retreat with Raymond Aaron himself, with about 25 other people, and we decided to go to Panama. And we went on one of our friends' private islands called Red Frog Beach Island. It was fantastic. It was the most luxurious island. There were $1 million mansions all along that we got to stay in. It was amazing. Every day we had teachings for about 5 hours, living in luxury. And you can't learn these things in a brick and mortar little place like sunk in these kind of walls because you're not surrounded in luxury. So you need to be surrounded by people and the lifestyle that you need to see what's possible. And so we learned how to postulate. So what's really interesting is that I went to come onto this Air Panama flight. So I went to get onto this flight so that we can get, it's a smaller plane because we had to go from Panama to Bocas del Toro, where we had to get on a private flight to get to this private island. And they wouldn't let me through security. And I said, what's going on? I'm the last one to go on to security. And they would not let me through. And I said, well, what is going on? And they said, well, here's your boarding pass, but it's not you. This is a girl's name. This has nothing to do with you. We can't let you on this flight. And I said, well, how did I get somebody else's boarding pass? This can't be right. How did you make a mistake? So I went to the supervisor, had to speak to their boss, and then some of the authorities and try to get in, and they still wouldn't let me in because my passport did not match my boarding pass. And I said, you know what? It's got to be somebody who's already through security, and so I just have to find that person. It's got to be someone that I know, because I did meet this person's name, but I don't know their last name. I don't recognize it. Because all these people that I went onto this business retreat are all new to me. They're all new people that I've never met before, other than just introducing myself. So I thought, okay, I know this a Jennifer. Maybe it's her. I got to go find out. And so a security guard escorted me into the airport, past security, before I could even check through. And he was just standing right beside me, so I had my own personal bodyguard. And so I went up to this beautiful Jennifer, and I said, Jennifer, is this your boarding pass? And she looks at it, she goes, yeah. How did you end up with my boarding pass? And I said, can you check your boarding pass? And she checked. It was my boarding pass. Now, I don't know if you've ever gone through an airport and got a different boarding pass, but it never, ever, ever happens. And so what happened was, I met this Jennifer, who's sitting down in the back of the class right here, and she's the person that I actually fell in love with. She also went onto this trip to fall in love with the man of her dreams. What's interesting is that she had 45 specific things that she wrote down and postulated that this person would have. And wouldn't you know that all 45 things I met? But what was crazy is that she was almost interrogating me throughout the whole trip. Do you do this? Do you have this? Do you know, it was just incredible. And so I was able to get on. I met Jen. We spent time with Raymond Aaron. This is when, on our trip, Jen got sunburnt there. And we just really fell in love. And we've been together ever since. And Jen is all about doing things right now. She doesn't wait. She's all about very much the same lesson that I got, is that we don't live forever, so we really want to move forward. And we started in that summer, last year, I Inspire Inc. And so with I Inspire Inc., Jen was working for Raymond Aaron, and she's a personal book architect. She helped me to publish not one, not two, but 3 books, all last year in August. And so this is a great way that I've been able to market myself. 6M Financial Freedom Formula was my first book with Essential Nourishment, because 6M was how to share, how to reach financial freedom, because I've done it. And it also has to do with real estate. And right here, Jeff Woods, that's my mentor that I decided to write the book with. We co-wrote the book, we got it done. We actually have some books here if you wanted to take a look at it. Essential Nourishment was all about the book that I had inside me for about 20 years. I just needed to come out with it. So that is everything that I know about the fundamentals of a healthy, vibrant life. Everyone needs their health. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So health is a major topic out there, along with financial freedom. And then to brand yourself, I wrote your title here, The Ultimate Book Writing Blueprint. This actually, we worked with Raymond Aaron in promoting his book writing program. And Jen, as a book architect, has written another book called Get Published Right Now, How to Stop Procrastination. And it's all tales and stories from people that have tried to write their books, that had a roadblock, and Jen helped them to finish their book. And so we help with workshops on how to finish your book in as little as 3 days. Furthermore, we started the Author's Advantage to connect everyone as authors so that they can connect with each other, have the commonality, and promote the book. We also started the 4 Steps to Online Success, which we've written since September. We started because we went and understood that online success is the way to go today. And we learned that from Brendan Burchard. He's our mentor when it comes to online success. He's got over 10 million followers online. He is the biggest of the biggest out there. He's bigger than Oprah Winfrey online. I suggest you to check him out. And we've started the 4 Steps to Online Success. And then my last book, which is being published, hopefully by the end of this month, is The Facebook Phenomenon. This is how to leverage your social network to grow your business. As a bonus of you being in this class, I will email you a digital copy for free. And so we are all about I Inspire. We called it I Inspire not because of the iPhone, but because when you say these words, it's about you. It's about you inspiring others. You are already an inspiration of investing in yourself right now, because that's the number one thing to do. Invest in yourself first. Once you do, you can then inspire others. And it's all about affinity, meaning, and prosperity. You need meaning in your life, you need to attract prosperity, and affinity is connecting with others. So in Inspiring, we started everything about inspiring you to live the life on your terms. So now, that's enough about me. It's not about me, it's not about us at all here. It's about what we can deliver, and it's all about you. It's all about you.